What's going on, everybody? Happy hump day. Hump day. Mike. What time is it, Mike? What day is it, Mike? All right. Anyway, you're listening to the S3. I am JD. She, as always, is a lovely lady M. Got a really good show for you today. We're actually mixing it up pretty good today. I'm at a loss for words already. We're going to do some early big game props and bets. I'm not actually going to say what bets I'm going to be doing, but I'm going to tell you what's out there for you to bet. There's some novelty bets already for the big game. We're going to talk about the NBA schedule and the return of the 10-point play. We've been doing 6-point play, but we're actually on a day where there's 10 games on the schedule, so I think we can make it work. Then we got special guest Joe Willman from Willman Racing. He's joining us to give his NASCAR Top 10 Power Rankings. I've also got mine that I'm going to give at the same time. So after you listen to his, you'll listen to the right one, which is mine. Power Rankings are cool because they can change every week.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people think, oh my God, you think they're going to win it all? I said, no, right now, this is where I'm putting them heading into Daytona.
Right.
All right. So stand by for that. Then we've got the college quarter, top 25 teams in action tonight. There's like 7 or 8 teams. And then overtime, I do have best bets. I've got a couple 6-packs for college basketball, and I've got a 6-pack of prop bets specifically around the Milwaukee Bucks at the Portland Trailblazers tonight. So remember, best bets or a best bet pick would be team versus team. A prop bet is individual stats that we're looking at. Right. So we will go over those, but what is first?
Headlines with horrible dad jokes.
Horrible dad jokes. We warned you ahead of time. They are horrible. And if you repeat them, you probably deserve to be slapped. Headline number 1, the Seattle Seahawks just came in a couple hours ago. They've tabbed Ravens defensive coordinator Mike Macdonald as their next head coach. This just leaves the Washington Commanders, which I'm, fingers crossed. I want Romeo Crennel to have that job, but they are the last team out there looking for a head coach. FYI, Bill Belichick's not on their radar. Yeah, that's a lot of power to give up. So he is not on their radar. But Seahawks, that tells me when they go after a coach or a defensive-minded coach like Mike Macdonald, that tells me they're trying to bring back like the Legion of Boom defense, and they're gonna spend more time on their rushing game and their short passing options.
I guess it's gonna be really interesting to see what he's gonna bring to the team next year.
It's gonna be interesting. I want to see how
about that.
How it affects Jackson and his numbers having a defensive-minded coach. So we'll see. All right, first joke, Lady M. Did you hear about the guy who drank invisible ink?
No.
He's still at the hospital waiting to be seen. That's how we're starting it off, folks. Jerry Jones was asked at the Senior Bowl practices by Yahoo Sports if he could work with Bill Belichick, to which he responded, quote, "I know him personally and I like him. There's no doubt in my mind we could work together. None."
Wow.
Jerry Jones also referred to Belichick as a, quote, friend.
I would not have expected that, honestly.
There's an interesting take by Stephen A. Smith on ESPN. I actually posted the video. We've been posting a lot of videos, especially with NASCAR coming up this week on our Facebook page, but I posted it. You're going to have to dig a little bit, where he actually justifies letting go of Mike McCarthy and bringing in Bill Belichick, because you're going from a coach who knows how to win games, but he doesn't know how to win big games. So, I mean, if you look at the Cowboys, and Stephen A. Smith mentioned this too, if you look at the Dallas Cowboys, there were a lot of times where the discipline just wasn't there, where like the do your job mentality just wasn't there. Yeah. And you could see it.
Oh, yeah. You can tell when they're having a slacking game, when they're just kind of half-assing it.
Lady M, do you know what the best way to catch a fish is?
No.
Ask someone to throw one to you. Yeah. Headline currently, Jason Tatum from our Boston Celtics
Ah,
is ranked sixth in the MVP chase behind Jokic, Embiid, Gilgeous Alexander, Giannis, and Luca.
hmm.
Here's why, like, I'm not going to go into my end of world rant like I did last week or the last show,
Yeah.
but here's what pisses me off about that. Lady M, who
Yes.
is the number one team in all of the NBA right now?
The Celtics.
Who is the number one player, undeniably, on the Boston Celtics right now?
Jason Tatum.
Why is the number one player on the number one team in basketball
Ranked sixth.
sixth
I
in
don't
the
know.
MVP chase?
I'll be honest. I don't know who Gilgeous Alexander is.
Oklahoma City.
Eh.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I
He's
know the
awesome.
rest of them. At least the rest of those names are familiar names, and they do deserve to be up in the top somewhere because they're all
That's
very
what
great
happens when you
players.
play in a
But
small market. You could be a really awesome player, but unless you're a big fan of the NBA, you really don't hear about him.
all the complaints that I have ever heard from announcers and statisticians and blah 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 about Jason Tatum are all that he's a nice guy, and I don't get how that has anything to do with the way he performs on the court or with his team. And like, yeah, he's not selfish, so maybe you could ding him because his stats aren't as high as they could be. But that's one of the main reasons the Celtics are team number
He
one right
is the
now.
main reason. Yes, I know we have Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown's awesome. We got
Yeah.
Porzingis, who's
Yeah.
awesome. We got Derek White, who's awesome. But the man that keeps everybody together and keeps everybody focused and everybody disciplined and shows up
Always
night in,
opts to
night
make
out.
sure that they're gonna get the score instead of him get the stat for taking a shot or whatever. Yeah.
Like, I mean, he leads the team in scoring, 26.9 points per game. But like without him, they are maybe the third or fourth best team in the NBA. Maybe.
Right.
They are the number one team, not just by like one win, but right now by 4 wins to like the Nuggets.
Yeah.
Right? They have like 4 more wins than the number one team in the West, which is the Denver Nuggets.
I'm with
Jokic
I don't know
is
what
ahead
the
of him.
hate is. I don't know what the hate is.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Moving on. Did you hear about the fire at the shoe factory?
No.
Apparently, many souls were lost. SOLES, people. Many souls were moving on. Headline number 4, the NBA is expanding their draft to a 2-night event in June. Are you intrigued? Do you want to make some popcorn and watch the NBA draft? The answer is no. That's the answer.
I don't think I've ever been interested in the NBA draft. I don't follow college basketball well enough to even be excited about who they're picking.
Here's the thing about it.
You have to,
like, there's maybe 2 or 3 players that you're like, that guy's going to be a star in this league. And then everybody else is like, he might come off the bench. That's how I see the NBA draft.
Right.
Like, but
the NBA draft isn't full of CJ Strouds.
But when the NFL draft happens, pretty much everybody in the first round is projected to be a starter.
Yeah.
So you watch that. Like, the fact that they took something extremely boring and now want to spread it out
to
two nights? No. Nope.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't.
I've only ever cared about the draft in the sense of if I know who it is there. If I don't even know who it is that they're going for, then how does that get me excited or interested at all?
All right.
I'll wait and see it on the court.
What did the earthquake say when it was done?
I had no idea.
Sorry, my fault. My fault, people. fault line. All right. That's headlines with horrible jokes. We warned you ahead of time. If you use them, that's on you. Like, we accept no responsibility for
None
you
at all.
using these jokes. All right, what's next?
First quarter, big game props and bets.
All right, big game props and bets. So, like, I'm trying to put the feel out there because one of the things that I love about betting on the Super Bowl, on the big game, is you get to do all the novelty bets. You get to do, like, what color's the Gatorade that's going to be spilt on the winning coach, like coin toss, like how long the national anthem is going to be. Is it going to be over or under a certain minute and second? Is it like you get to bet on all that stuff? So there's like 4 or 5 bets that you can bet on before even kickoff, right? And then once kickoff happens, you can bet on like will it be a touchback? Which most likely yes. Like I put $1 down to win $50 on the first kickoff being returned for a touchdown because it wins $50 for $1. All right. So there's plenty of bets like that. But just looking at it, if you go to Sports Grid, or I'll go to Sports Grid. Sports Grid, by the way, is where I get all my picks, my props, all my stuff. So if I tell you I'm betting on something, because I got it from Sports Grid. Shout out to Sports Grid. Joe Madden, by the way, former guest on the show. She works for Sports Grid.
Yep.
All right. So as of right now, there are a few props. You're looking Patrick Mahomes. The market says 36.5 passing yards. They're saying over. George Kittle, 47.5 receiving yards. They're saying over. Wow, they're saying over by like a lot. Yeah. So that's a bet that you should do. He's projecting to get like 70 yards, so it's 20 more. Brandon Ayuk, the market is 62.5 receiving yards right now. He's projected to get 83.3. I'm just naming a few of these. Rashee Rice, 66.5 receiving yards. He's projected to get 90.
Christian McCaffrey. Do Christian.
There's no, like, there are no 5-star bets for Christian McCaffrey, but I will do this. I will do this because I only go for 5-star bets. Because those are the ones that where the experts are actually saying, I guarantee. Really confident. Yeah, they're really confident. And it's never a guarantee because it is betting. So what I'm going to do is I've got my DraftKings app open right now. I'm going to go to NFL. Let me jump into NFL. And then you can go into novelty props. Let's see what we got. The first one, coin toss. So I asked this on Twitter, X. I was like, let me just find out what people think, and I'll pick whichever one they pick, heads or tails. And it literally came out at 50%.
Figures.
I'm like, no help at all. None. So I don't know what way I'm going to go with that just yet. Big game specials. You got Nick Bosa to have 2+ sacks plus 350. You got Travis Kelce to have 11+ receptions at plus 550. Brandon Ayuk to have a 50+ yard reception plus 700. And then there's quite a few these. Christian McCaffrey, 1+ rushing touchdown and 1+ receiving touchdown is plus 550.
Oh, they're thinking he's going to get 4 touchdowns is what that means. 2 receiving, 2 rushing. Did I understand that right?
It has to be 1 or more.
Or
so
more.
As long as he gets
as long
one,
as it gets the 1.
Yeah, so 1 in each.
1 in each.
Then you would win that bet.
And
Travis Kelce. Let's look for some high stuff. Okay. An offensive lineman to score 1+ touchdown plus 4,000. This is possible because if the lineman says he's eligible at the goal line, that's a touchdown.
Yeah.
All right. That's plus 4,000. So if you bet $1, it's $40 in your pocket. So, I mean, that one actually might be worth doing. Yeah. You check. I mean, there's a ton of bets, but we will have more as we get closer. We still got 1, 2, 3. We got 3. 3 more shows before we actually get to lockdown. But just off the top of your head, who are you going with?
The Niners.
San Francisco you're going with the Niners. Let me see.
No hesitation.
Let me see what they've got here for game picks. They've got the Niners. They're saying the Niners plus 1.5. They're saying,
It's
or
not that the
minus 1.5.
Mahomes Kelsey dream team can't put out, but I still
Yep.
think the Niners are gonna. I think the
Right
Niners
now,
are
the
gonna
short
take
money is on the Niners. I'm going to close that out because it's taking up a lot of speed. All right. What is next?
Second quarter NBA schedule and 10-point play.
All right. We got about 15 minutes before our guest comes on. So let's go ahead and knock these out, shall we? All
Sure.
right. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we got 10 games to choose from tonight. We got the Bulls at 22-26 at the Hornets, 10-35. We got the Pistons 6-40 at the Cavaliers, 28-16. We got the Clippers at 30-15. The Clippers have come on as late.
Yeah.
At the Wizards, 9-37. The Kings 27-18 at the Heat, 24-23. The Pelicans 26-21 at the Rockets, 22-24. Rockets are hit and miss right now. Mavericks 26-21 at the Timberwolves, 33-14. The Magic 24-13 at the Spurs at 10-37. The Nuggets 33-15 at the Thunder.
That's gonna be
at 32-15. That's a good game right there. The Suns 27-20. I think this is going to be a good game as well. At the Nets 19-27, and then the Bucks 32-15 at the Trailblazers 14-33. So let's get into it. Except this time, because I made up the game, I can make up the rules. We're going to start with the half-court shot. This is the underdog with less than 16 wins. You go for, I think it's 3, 2, and 2, right? In my favor, I believe.
I legitimately don't remember.
Oh,
I would have to look.
Way to care about our game that means nothing. Jeez. This is an important contest. All right. So I think it is 3, 2, and 2. 3 wins, 2 losses, and 2 ties in my favor. Who do you have for your half-court shot?
All right. What are the half-court rule is under 16 wins?
Under 16 win, or 16 or less. 16 or less. But I believe most of them have 15
let's
or
see
under.
what we even got here.
Let's see what we got.
Hornets. There's the Pistons, the Wizards.
Damian Lillard's returning
Spurs,
to Portland.
Or the Trailblazers.
Yeah.
I think I'll take the Hornets over the Bulls.
You're taking the Hornets over the Bulls.
Wow.
All right. I will take, you know what? I am going to take the Trailblazers over the Bucks. If I'm going to shoot a half-court shot, you know what? That's almost like a full-court shot. If I hit that,
it is almost like a full-court shot, but still.
It should be like 7 points,
wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'm picking them though. The Trailblazers have won me the night in the past, so I'm sticking with them.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, the 3-pointer. Any underdog.
Any
underdog. Who do you got?
There's actually quite a few that I think could do it. That's too close to count. I'm not doing that.
I like this. Man.
I'm going to take the Heat over the Kings.
You're going to take the Heat over the Kings?
Yeah.
All right. I am going to wow, I'm going crazy on this one. I'm taking the Nets over the Phoenix Suns.
That is crazy.
The Nets. Well, because the Nets have 2 to 3 former players.
Yeah.
Yeah. From the Suns on that team. That was part of the Kevin Durant trade.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm taking Brooklyn. Let's go, Brooklyn. Do it. All right. The layup. We switched it around. I switched it up because the layup's supposed to be the easiest one. I mean, excuse me, the free throw should be the easiest one. It should be worth the least amount of points. So the guarantees the easiest pick. So I made it worth the least amount of points. So right now, the layup is no longer the guarantee. The layup is just any pick. But keep in mind that you still need to pick your guarantee for the free throw. So looking at the schedule,
Wait,
games that you have not picked, we
the
are
layup
picking.
is any game and the free throw is the guarantee.
Yeah,
now?
I switched it
They just
around.
switch places. Okay.
Yeah. The
Okay.
layup, any game. Who do you got for tonight?
I'm gonna take the Thunder over the Nuggets.
Ooh, that's wow. Okay. That was a little shocking. The layup. Okay.
I went for it.
All right. I am going to take. I already took the Bucks game out of play because I picked the Trailblazers. And I already took the Suns out of play because I picked the Nets.
Out of play for you.
I am going for the Magic over the Spurs.
And that's
I was
your
thinking
layup.
about having them for the guarantee, but I've got another game in mind for that.
I want to take the Cavaliers over the Pistons for my guarantee.
You're taking the Cavs over the Pistons.
Mm-hmm.
I am taking the Pelicans over the Rockets for my guarantee. Guarantee. Who do you got? Oh, the Celtics aren't playing tonight. That's right. They played tomorrow night. Okay. So we don't have to worry about that. Run through them again. Who do we got?
All right. So half court is picking an underdog with less than 16 wins to win tonight. You picked the Trailblazers to win over the Bucks. I picked the Hornets to win over the Bulls. The 3-pointer is just any underdog. They can be close together. You picked the Nets over the Suns. I picked the Miami Heat over, I forget who they're playing already. The Kings. There we go. The LA Kings.
There you go. You saw it.
Free throw. This is, we can pick anybody we want. You picked the Pelicans to beat the Rockets. I picked the Cavaliers to beat the Pistons. Sorry, that's our guarantee. That's our guarantee.
That's our guarantee.
They're going to win. Layup is we can pick anybody we want.
Yeah.
You picked the Magic to beat the Spurs, and I picked the Thunder to beat the Nuggets.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I liked your pick for the Hornets tonight.
Yeah.
They were going to be my 4-point play. But I like that pick. I was eyeing that pick, so I ended up having to go with the Trailblazers. That Bucks Trailblazers game can go either way because it's Damian Lillard's return to Portland where he played all of his career up to this point, up to this season. And then he got traded to Portland.
Right.
Oh, excuse me, to Milwaukee.
Milwaukee. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's in Portland. I want to see that the fans give him the respect that he stayed around as long as he did on a losing organization.
Yeah.
Right? So
that'll say a lot about.
I don't want to hear any boos. I know you're probably going to hear them because, I mean, there's alcohol involved.
Right.
But, I mean, what do you expect from the guy? They gave him absolutely no help whatsoever to try and build a winning team around him.
Right.
I mean, so, anybody that boos him just doesn't understand really what he went through as a player. Continuing to go out night after night and competing and put up, big game shots, last second. I mean, there's a reason why he's nicknamed Dame Time because he would just he'd wait for the final seconds and throw up a half court shot and nail it.
Yeah.
And then
he would do a certain amount of
he would do
when
that.
Somebody has done good for your franchise and been loyal and been there and worked their butts off. Even if that decision comes where they end up going somewhere else, it's should be more grateful for the time they gave you, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say. Respectful.
Yeah, I agree with that. While we're waiting on our guests, you know what? I'm actually going to go over the props bets.
Okay.
That we were saving for the overtime, but we'll save the college stuff. The prop bets that I have, and I'll go over them again at the end. Milwaukee at Portland. Chris Middleton, I've got over 15.5 points. Damian Lillard, I actually have under 26.5 points. Even though he's coming home.
Yeah.
I expect him to play well. Having a low to mid 20s game is a good game, but I think that like Simmons and Grant and their center, which escapes my name at this point, and he's a former Phoenix Sun. I can't believe I forgot his name, but it'll pop up to my head in a second. I think they're
Yeah.
going to come out and be like, you know what? We don't need you to suck. We can suck
Yeah.
on our own. DeAndre Ayton, former Phoenix Sun up there in Portland. I do expect him to have a decent game. So Damian Lillard under 26.5 points. Anthony Simmons under Simons under 3.5 3-pointers made. Giannis under 31.5 points. Brooke Lopez has been coming on as of late, except for rebounds. I need him to have one more freaking rebound in their last game
Yeah.
to hit my props.
For like
One
an entire
rebound.
quarter
You're the center.
or an entire half. I don't remember, but it was bad.
It was an entire half.
It's
I
an
need him to
entire
get
half.
one rebound, and he didn't get it.
Yeah.
I was killing, but he was killing it on the offensive side. He was out shooting threes and everything. So I've got him over 1.5 3-pointers made. And then I've got Brooke Lopez over 12.5 points. So again, that's Chris Middleton over 15.5 points. I've got Damian Lillard under 26.5 points. Anthony Simons under 3.5 3-pointers made. So as long as he makes 3 or less, that's a win. I've got Giannis under 31.5 points. I've got Brooke Lopez 1.5 over 1.5 3-pointers made, which means he'll make at least 2. And I've got Lopez over 12.5 points. I'm staying away from his rebounds.
Yeah.
I'm staying away from his rebounds. I don't like it at all. Do you want to just jump to, while we're still waiting on our guests, you want to just jump to the overtime section? And
Sure.
I'll just finish up. So the college basketball 6-pack that I have for tonight, let me see here. You know what? Let's knock out the college quarter.
Okay.
We got a few minutes. Let's knock out the entire college quarter. So you don't have to announce it. The college quarter, top 25 teams in action tonight, starting at 4:30, which is in about 1 minute. You got Northwestern at 15-5 at number 2 Purdue. The Boilermakers are 10-0 at home this season. You got number 24 Alabama at 14-6 at Georgia, also 14-6. Georgia has lost 3 of their last 5 games, while Alabama has won 4 of their last 5. You've got number 18 Baylor at UCF. Baylor's 14-5. UCF is 12-7. Baylor has lost 3 straight by a total of 9 points, including 2 losses, 2 out of their last 3, 1 going in overtime and 1 going into triple overtime. Wow. Then you got Florida 14-6 at number 10, Kentucky at 15-4. The Wildcats are 10-1 on their home court this season. You've got Providence at 14-6 at number 1, UConn, also known as UConn. Huskies are 11-0 at home. Providence, Devin Carter coming off a big 29-point game against Georgetown. So look for him to show up, but I still like the Huskies in that game. Vanderbilt at 5-14 at number 16, Auburn at 16-4. Auburn is 10-0, undefeated at home. The Commodores, however, are 0-6 versus SEC opponents this season, so that should be a pretty easy pick right there. Then you got Boise State, the late game at 8:30 at 14-6 at number 19. New Mexico is sitting at 18-3. The Lobos have won 5 straight and 8 of their last 10. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to Grand Canyon University. Lopes up, number 1 in the WAC right now with a 19-2 record and 9-1 in their conference play this season. They play Seattle tomorrow at GCU Arena. Heading into the best bets for tonight for the college basketball six-pack, wrong sport. We got, I'm taking Purdue minus 13.5. I'm taking St. John's plus 1.5. Cincinnati minus 3.5. Richmond minus 2.5. Indiana State minus 8.5. And then Kentucky minus 5.5. Now, going into this weekend, this is kind of like the preseason for NASCAR. Okay. They are racing. They are doing what's it called? The Clash at the Coliseum. This is basically their tune-up for actual racing. The winners get money. You know, I don't know how much money they get. Maybe you can look that up. But I don't like this race because there isn't a track on the schedule that is this small. I don't think. Maybe the paperclip, maybe Martinsville. I don't know. I think Martinsville might be a little bit bigger than this, but they literally put a racetrack inside of the Rose Bowl. It's a football stadium, right? I don't know how fast these cars get up to speed, but man, like so basically the schedule looks like this. You've got the Clash. Everything starts on Saturday with the actual race on Sunday, starting at 6:30 p.m. our time, Mountain Time. So it's 5:30 their time. They've got Busch Light Clash at the Coliseum Heat race number 1 at 6:30. Yes. At 6:45, you have Busch Light Clash at the Coliseum Heat race number 2. 7 o'clock Heat race number 3, and then 7:15 Heat race number 4.
It is a $2,085,000 pool.
So they're playing for scraps. Awesome. Jesus. All right. And then the Busch Light Clash at the Coliseum is at 6 p.m. on Sunday evening. That's Mountain Time again. So that'll be 5 o'clock Pacific Time, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. They don't get into Daytona until the 15th. They've got duel number 1 and duel number 2 on Thursday, the 15th. And that'll decide the starting lineup. That's like qualifying. All right. The order of the finish in the first duel is the inside lane. The order of the finish of the second duel is the outside lane. Daytona is one of those tracks that I desperately want to get to.
Yeah.
Like as
we
a
were
NASCAR
so close
fan.
Too, not that long ago. Not that there was a race happening there, but we were very close.
We were right up the street from them.
Yeah, and, it was only I want to say like an hour drive to get to Daytona Beach from where we were.
Pretty
Florida,
much.
So.
Like we can catch races out here easily because I mean Phoenix Raceway is an hour away from us now that we moved to Scottsdale to the east side.
It's reasonable. It's within driving distance, so
yeah. One of the things that pissed me off about Phoenix Raceway last year, though, was the fact that I just got a message from our guest. He's coming on.
Okay.
I don't like the fact that for championship weekend, they did not use Victory Lane.
Oh.
Because the guy that won the championship actually won the race.
There was no clear anything about that happening either. We found out by waiting in Victory Lane.
Yeah.
For no
we
reason.
were waiting in Victory Lane.
Well, they did everything out on the track anyways.
Yep. And because the winner of the race was the overall winner of the championship, Ryan Blaney, there was no celebration in Victory Lane, which there were hundreds of fans waiting in Victory Lane.
People that paid a lot of money to be able to be there.
To be on the infield. That's the
infield is very costly. So
that was the whole sale of, that's one of the major selling points of the infield passage, which we got, is you get to be part of Victory Lane.
Yeah.
But the problem was like in March, we won't have that problem. But because what they usually did, like on Saturday, they had the winner of the race in Victory Lane, and then the Xfinity Series champion actually celebrated on the track, or they brought the truck around, and that's when they celebrated the series championship.
Yeah.
Whereas on Sunday, because the guy that won the race ended up winning the series championship, Ryan Blaney, there was nothing going on in victory lane.
Yeah. They
Like,
didn't even announce it. The people that were
No.
there just grabbed everything and left, and they could have at least told the fans we're actually doing this on the track or something, you know?
They
Like-
were announcing to get to victory lane like with 100 laps
Uh-huh.
left, so we could take part in the celebration.
Yeah, continually all the way through to the end of the race.
Yeah.
Wait in victory lane. Anyways,
Make
I
sure you
agree.
get to victory
I
lane,
found that
get
very
your photos
annoying.
taken. That's one of the things that pissed me off. I mean, like, I think I was bad for like 3 days after that.
Yeah.
Like, for real.
Yeah.
Like, I've been to, like, Vegas is cool. Vegas Raceway.
Yeah.
Vegas Super Speedway, Las Vegas Motor Speedway. They all they have different names. Raceway, Speedway, Motor
Right.
Speedway. Why can't you say track? This is the track. Daytona track. No. It all depends on what their classified are and how big they are. I guess. Maybe we'll ask Joel when he comes on up. But I want to do Daytona. I want to do maybe Bristol.
Yeah.
I want to do Sonoma when they're redoing Sonoma right now.
Oh, are they?
That's a road course. I want to see. I want to go
Cool.
to that one.
Okay.
Let
me just drive out to that one.
Maybe like Pocono. Pocono's a little weird. That's the triangle. It's only got 3 turns. Yeah, it's only got 3 turns.
You know, I have to admit, I actually think it would be interesting to watch them race down the streets of Chicago if that's something they've decided to keep doing.
They do, yeah.
I think that would be cool. That would be kind of cool.
I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd have to pick which turn you want to sit at.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it's basically like Chicago, I think, is a figure 8 that they do. So I would probably want to be.
I just remember that one sharp turn that is like they made a sharp right turn in there that made no sense, but
yeah, that everybody was crashing on.
Yeah. It was ugly. It was ugly for a racetrack, but
it was very ugly.
I still think it could be fun trip to.
All right.
Check it out.
So joining us here in a moment will be Joel Willman. We're going to go over our top 10 power rankings. When I was looking at my list, just my top 10, like I'm going to tell you right now who's not in it. Like I almost left Kyle Busch, my guy, outside of the top 10 to start the season.
Yeah.
I almost left him out. Because I had to bring like Ross Chastain, by the way, is driving under Anheuser-Busch this year. So Anheuser-Busch had been the sponsor for Kevin Harvick. Harvick retired.
Right.
So now, like, Chastain gets them for like 18 races, including the championship here. So that's a beautiful looking car. I think I posted it in the Facebook group, what that paint scheme looks like. I love the mountains, the light blue. I think what we should do is maybe not this weekend, but for Daytona, like give our top 5 paint schemes for that race.
Yeah, that could be fun.
Like I want to see
the different switch the cars up based on what racetrack it is and stuff too. So
oh yeah, the cars are totally different.
Theme.
Oh yeah, if we want to get our logo on a car for Daytona, I mean that has to be. I mean, we'll ask Joel when he comes on, but that has to be like probably $250,000.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was a couple.
I'm assuming if we wanted like NBNR or even the S3 on the hood,
little guy in the corner somewhere.
Yeah, if we wanted to like. Real quick, let's go ahead and bring on our guest. We will ask him. He knows more about this stuff than we do. From Joel Willman Racing, Mr. Joel Willman. Joel, thank you so much for joining us, man. Did you just get off work?
I did. It was a little bit a late night.
Yeah, late night. Your audio's a little off, man.
Let's see here. Yeah, hold on one second. Let me try something. we'll make it easier for you.
Yeah, you're coming in very broken.
How about now?
No, that's no better. Hold on. Let me try something. Try it again.
Is that better? No. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get some of this to work. So.
Yeah, I think it's your mic.
Yeah. Let me try one second. It says we're connected, so.
Yeah, it's just coming in really broken.
I'm gonna take this off. Just give me 1 second. We'll undo our Bluetooth here.
See how that works for you.
Oh,
That's
much
perfect,
better.
man. That is perfect,
No
man.
more
Thanks for
robot
joining
voice.
us, man.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
It's all right.
So we were just talking kind of like what tracks we want to like go to eventually. Obviously, we're naming like we want to go to Daytona, we want to go to Bristol, I want to go to Pocono, Sonoma. I've been to Vegas, New Hampshire.
I've never been to Vegas though, so I want.
Vegas is a lot of fun. Daytona's a lot of fun, especially.
No, wait. When you say Vegas is a lot of fun, you can't just leave it at that. Like, are you just
What
are you
happens
just
in
talking
Vegas
about the
stays in Vegas.
racetrack or?
The racetrack is actually really cool. I was able to drive on it in 2014. That was the same time that I did the ARCA Menard series at Daytona, Illinois. We went to test it at Kansas, Iowa, and Indianapolis Raceway Park in the Milwaukee Mile. So it was a lot of fun. Vegas is a great track. I would love to race on it, like full-fledged, get after it. So
That's awesome, man. Well, it's the off season, but we're about to get on to the on season. I mean, what do you have going on in preparation for your season?
Right now it's like a mad rush this time of the year to just try to get some marketing partners on board with us. We kind of, the last couple of years, we kind of been switching every year, trying to get something that's going to be more beneficial for fans to see us and get to know who Joel Willman is and some of the history of us racing. We did some asphalt racing 2 years ago. Last year, we did some more dirt late model stuff. We raced inside the St. Louis Dome for the Gateway Nationals the last 2 years. And now this year, we're kind of going to the midget cars. They're very, very fun. It's just a series that my family's been racing with since back in the 30s and 40s. Dominated. They got in the Hall of Fames, Indianapolis Hall of Fame, National Sprint Car Hall of Fame, Badger Midget Hall of Fame, and the National Short Track Hall of Fame. So to carry that, to be that last Willman, I'm fourth generation race car driver, fifth generation military, as well as fire and rescue. So we try to encompass all of that. So
Cool.
where we're racing this year is Angel Park Speedway in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, and it's named the Fireman's Park Speedway. So it's got a lot of legacy, a lot of history there, and we're just trying to race there. And these cars are awesome because they get to race at the dirt track at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So we have opportunity to go. So we have the opportunity to go there, and I mean, yeah, it's not the big track, but the fact that you can go there and race have that at least attempt to race at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on a dirt track for Brian Clausen. It's the race. It's his family's race that they hold for him for the. It's the BC 39 is what it's called.
Right.
You have the best of the best. It's not quite as crazy as the Chili Bowl with 300 drivers wanting to hit, but last year they had like 87 drivers that showed up. So, it's still a big, tough field, but at the same time, you're getting to do something that a lot of people wish they could have, so.
Oh man, if I in another life, man, if I was good at driving a stick, then yeah, I definitely, suck.
The good thing
I'm
about
terrible.
it, Jeff, the good thing about this JD is it's an in and out box. So either you're in gear or you're out of gear. There's no second, going around on
that. Hey man, then maybe I'll give it a try. It'll be my next career, man. It's just.
They have Corey Cruzman's got a race school out there by you in Arizona.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, you go out there and you can for $200 you can get how good you are.
I think I know exactly where that is too. I think it's out by Thunderbird Raceway.
Yes, sir.
I think so, man. That's where they do like. There's also a driving school out there with like all the Corvettes, and
Yep.
they teach you how to do all the like cool stunts and like turning the car, and it's just
I can
all
see
the
like,
stuff that my brother had to learn.
yeah.
He's a U.S.
Her
diplomat,
brother's in a
so it was a
government
much
position,
scarier
so-
circumstance. But
that's a little bit different.
apparently,
Yeah.
he can do some of that stuff now.
All right, Joel. So the Clash at the Coliseum. What's your take on them doing this race at the Coliseum, man? Do you like it, or do you think like those cars shouldn't be in there? What
I
do
look
you
at it
think?
like this. I understand why NASCAR does it. I understand why they are trying to encompass the West Coast more than what they have.
Yeah.
That platform has become, I mean, yes, back in the day, I mean, I remember watching Ricky Johnson and Jimmy Johnson race, off-road trucks and motocross through the uprights, and everybody thought that was just insane and crazy. Damon Bradshaw, I mean, they were, that was the race of the race. So to bring NASCAR into that, it's awesome to see, but at the same time, I think they make it more of a show than it is a go. The Busch
Right.
Clash, I mean, it meant something. I mean, when you kind of went to Daytona for the Busch Clash, you kind of were trying to size up and see what you had for Daytona and what you had for the competition, kind of throw your muscle around. Here, yeah, it's kind of like going up to Bowman Gray on the East Coast and, getting your teeth kicked in and starting wars off for, just short
Oh,
track
yeah, there's
races.
a lot of bumping at this track.
It's a lot of
Yeah.
bumping. I mean, I think if they did it like instead of having the NASCAR series, if they did it like the new IROC series that Ray Abraham is going to be rejuvenating, I think or put him in some open wheel modified, something that actually fits the track a little bit better. That track is kind of small, so
Kind of small. Yeah, no kidding. Like if I could throw a football from one side of it to the other, it's small.
it's an eighth. It's an eighth.
Why
mile,
there's
I think it is.
I don't think they can drive without bumping.
Right.
No, they can't. Oh, she's
It's
not
not
like
possible in that.
there's nobody
space.
trying to be polite at this thing either, because there is a pool of money to win.
It's
So they
it's
are actually
a-
racing for something.
I mean,
Right.
it's prestige. I mean, it's pretty cool. But like last year, after they won, they went and gave them the gold and made them stand on the stairs, and I thought that was kind of cool and different. But at the same time, you gotta look at what's the most important thing that we have to remember is it's all about show right now. It's trying to get fans, new fans. I know a lot of new fans loved it. There was a lot of West Coast people that never really knew much about NASCAR, but then there's a lot of people that came there and said, why do you do this? There's no sense of it. So,
Yeah. Personally, I mean, I like it because it means racing is back.
Yeah.
Officially it'll be Daytona on the weekend of like the 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, I think, of February. So I can't wait for that. But I mean, yeah, it's like preseason football, man. It's just like they win a little bit of money. They get paid for what they're doing, but I'm ready for the real thing, man, because NASCAR is the only sport that basically has their Super Bowl game one.
Right.
Nobody else does that.
that's you start your season out with a bang, and it's kind of like the dirt guys, going to the Chili Bowl and starting the year off winning the Chili Bowl. I mean, you're the best of 367 drivers that, raced a whole week to get to that one golden driller. And so when you come out of that and you walk onto a short track, they don't even know who you are, but they know that the fact that you want a driller, that's, or even ran really well. And it does change everybody's, view on who's who and who's what. And then, you come out of the Daytona and you see your Daytona champion. I mean, Ricky Stenhouse didn't do nothing last year after that, but I mean,
right? But he won.
But he's still a Daytona
But
500
still won.
champion. His name is still on the trophy, and his mug is on there with some of the best.
And of course, I mean, you win week one, you're automatically in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean that's. I mean,
win and you're in.
instantly. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I mean,
about
that's
it.
what better way to take the stress off than to win week number 1. I mean, you get this huge prize, this huge recognition, and then basically you can coast until the playoffs because you're already in.
Pretty
So,
much.
well, let's do this, man, because I had a peek, just a peek at your top 10.
Yeah.
We differ a little bit. I actually like your list better than I like mine.
Can you say that again just one more time?
I like your list better. I'm gonna tell you why as we get to him.
Okay.
But I'm gonna post all 20 of mine on the website for Friday. That's scheduled for Friday. But today we're gonna go through our top 10 of our top 20. Doesn't mean that because there's 16 racers, all the haters out there is going to jump on us, but there's 16 racers that make the playoffs. We're just picking the top 10. So even if he's not in the list, it doesn't mean he won't do anything this year. This is just how we see it going into week 1 here in 2 weeks. All right. So let's do the countdown. Do you want to do shot for shot?
I'll have you start because I remember, 3/4 of my list, but I don't have it right in front of me because obviously I was running a little bit behind. But I can tell you right now, I mean, the fact that we're going to be close, I kind of know where we're going with this, so we'll see. But yes, absolutely, start out.
All right, so shot for shot, I am going with. Let me see. I've got stats in front of me too because I'm all about stats.
You are a statistician.
I everything that I do, I don't just pull out of my backside. So I am going with, starting at number 10, I am going with Tyler Reddick. I am going at number 10 with Tyler Reddick. Last season, Tyler Reddick, if I can pull up the stats real quick, 10 top 5s, 16 top 10s, 2 wins, 3 DNFs, finished the season in 6th. Tyler Reddick, number 10 on my top 10. Who do you got?
Let me pull up. I'm trying to pull up my list as we're speaking here. So
go right ahead, man. And I'll pull up the stats too because I've got them right in front of me. So unless you pick somebody that's down in like 30th, like maybe I don't think Chase Briscoe made your top 10, but just in case, I have him. He was 11. Oh, okay. Well, I've got his stats for the FYI. He had 4 top 5, 8 top 10s, no wins.
If I remember right, I did put Bubba number 10 on that list.
Bubba finished the season at 10. That's a solid pick.
And I think a lot of that had to do with, he's got a lot of momentum. Working for, obviously driving for Michael Jordan is peer pressure as it is. But I think this is the year that he's going to be coming out on top, and he's going to actually show a lot more showcasing for himself. I mean, this whole NASCAR Netflix thing really turned a lot of people onto what and why he thinks the way he does as a driver. It's given an insight to a lot of people that don't know him, that don't know that some of the phobias and some of the fears and things that he has and the self-doubt, I mean, he's his worst criticism, the worst critic that you can be is yourself. And in that field of talent and on a daily basis, if you don't produce, I mean, you're yesterday's news, so.
Oh, I agree. I absolutely agree. We are actually starting that series tonight. We're going to watch it tonight and tomorrow night, knock it down and give our thoughts on that on the Netflix special on Friday. So we'll be checking those out. By the way, in case you didn't see the name, I am a Rowdy Nation member.
Yeah, I see that. But I guess my question is, what are you going to do now that he sold his the energy drink is gone?
I never drank the energy drink.
So yeah.
I never drank the energy drink. I'm still a 5-hour guy. I guess I'm still rolling with Burton.
You're still rolling with Clint Boyer.
Yeah. So, by the way, Clint Boyer is one of the funniest friggin' announcers all of television.
He definitely makes a lot of the racing go strong. So yeah.
Yeah. He's pretty damn funny. I love Clint Boyer. All right, number 9. I'll take my shot. I got Ross Chastain. All right. We talked about him earlier on. He just signed the deal with Anheuser-Busch. Those colors look awesome on the Chevrolet number 1. Last year, he finished in 9th. He had 2 wins, 10 top 5s, 14 top 10s, and 4 DNFs. Even with all that, the only thing I really remember about his season was the video game ending to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know which one I'm talking about, where he basically hit the turbo button on the X button.
In Martinsville.
Have you ever tried a move like that in your career?
No, I'm not. I mean, I'm stupid, but I ain't that stupid. But
it worked.
It got him a lot of fame, and he smashed a lot of pumpkins after, or watermelons after that. That's for sure. But I mean, that move was something that will never be seen again because they outlawed it, and 2, I mean, the thing at Martinsville, I mean, we all seen what happened to Michael Waltrip back in the day when he hit that fence. I mean, it destroyed his car, and there was nothing left of it. And then he stood up out of a pile of rubbish, and everybody thought he would, he was a goner, and he stood out of it with maybe a little bit of a bruise here and there, but other than his ego, but
it's a short track, but they're still going 130, 140.
You're carrying a lot of speed. I mean, that there's a lot of G's at Martinsville, though. That's the thing. It's flat. It's kind of like Milwaukee. It's very flat, but at the same time, you carry a lot of G forces through the corner. Even though it's a small short track, you constantly feel like you're in a turn. So,
when I saw that, like, I'm a big movie guy. I do a lot of movie quotes, and it drives Marnie crazy sometimes.
Only because you want me to remember all of them and where they're from.
Absolutely. I should be able to spot check my girlfriend on any movie ever. True. All right. Any movie quote. Joel, do you agree?
I do quote some movies. I'm not going to lie.
He'll be like, you've seen it, right? And I'll be like, one time in 1987. I don't remember all the lines.
Yeah. Back in the day.
Anyways.
But yeah, so it reminded me of Top Gun when he's at the school and they're in class, and she's the instructor and she's sitting in front. She says, "I think we've seen it as a move, what not to do in this circumstance." And the guy behind him leans forward and says, "Gutsiest move I've ever seen, man."
Yep.
That's exactly what went through my head when I saw him do that.
It was
crap.
Yeah, I mean, that got him a lot of credit. But also, you have to remember, there's a lot of guys that look at Ross Chastain and he takes chances. He's a guy that's high risk, and there's guys that don't want to race around him because they know that, I mean, there's a difference between, I think, being, I guess I can't really say anything really derogatory because the fact of he's there, I'm not, I'm sitting here, and waiting to get my chance, but at the next day, you hear a lot of guys that say, "Hey, I don't like racing around you." I mean, you're aggressive, but you're the hardest guy to pass on the track, but you don't do it with respect. You just
Him and Larson last year, there were many races. Him and Larson were going back and forth.
And I mean, at the end of the year, they played a lot of the radio replays of him and some of that stuff got pretty heated. So
we're allowed to curse on this show, but we could make an entire show just through their radio communication.
It was harsh. That was definitely a harsh thing.
It was tough. Did you do your number 9?
I did not do my number 9 because I'm trying to pull it up, and
I believe you had Ryan Blaney.
I did have Ryan Blaney. I say he falls down from number 1 down to number 9 due to the fact that I think it's hard to come back and repeat what he did last year. There's just way more people after him this year. And I think, he got lucky with, making it to the far as he did. I mean, there are some races that probably didn't go the way that he was hoping, and cars fell out ahead of him, and voila, there you are, so.
I definitely appreciate you coming on to talk about this stuff. I've got more respect respect for him now that he's won, he's a winner. You have to respect it. I mean, to win it all, you got to go through a lot. I had a very bad incident with Ryan Blaney, and it's something that he doesn't even know about. I guarantee it. So my buddy, I got a very good friend. He's all Ryan Blaney. He picked the 12 because his birthday is November 12th. So he's been a huge Blaney fan, and they race out here twice a year, right? So they raced out here. They always race out here Veterans Day weekend, usually, give or take a week. And I said, you know what? I'm going to get an autograph for my buddy. I stood at his garage because in Phoenix, I don't know if you've been to Phoenix yet, but they have garages where you can actually walk in. They've got an entire aisle in the garage where you can just walk in front of the pits,
sure,
and in front of the car and wait for them. I waited for 2 days to get one autograph,
like 6 hours minimum.
Oh,
at
yeah,
least one time that I remember.
Like I was in physical pain with my disability, my back, my neck, my legs, everything. I'm still standing there. I'm the only person standing in his garage stall. Even his crew members were asking if he'd come over and signed yet. And I said, no, I got nothing. Like I was almost physically unable to move the next day. Like I didn't even want to get out of bed. And the most that I got when he was done with qualifying, he pulled his car in, stepped out, waved to everybody, waiting for an ride, and he went to his trailer.
Really?
Yeah.
That 6 hours of waiting in one day.
Yeah.
I
never got it.
Wait 6 hours for me at all.
I went to his gear trailer, bought his shirt. Granted, I'm a rowdy guy. I'm buying Ryan Blaney shirts. I'm buying Ryan Blaney street signs for him to sign as an awesome birthday present. Initially, the funny thing was the ticket that Martin ended up getting was for my buddy for his birthday. Right? And he couldn't go because he had to work. He couldn't get the time off. So I was like, I'm going to get this for him. It's going to make him feel great. He's going to be happy, all this stuff.
Right.
Never got it. So like my next podcast, the very next podcast was literally entitled Ryan Blaney Can Go Fuck Himself.
Well, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Listen to that.
I was a little heated the next week. And I posted it everywhere. And to this day, it's probably our most listened to podcast.
These are probably like, why?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he doesn't even know what happened. Sign some freaking autographs. While I'm waiting on him, his teammates to the left, he was the very first car in the garage. His teammates were to the side. They were signing autographs.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I mean,
multiple times.
Really, that's insane. I mean,
it's something I've noticed that there's a lack of consideration of sometimes. Is that I'm sure it gets annoying to be hounded by fans all the time, but you don't know if it's that one time in their whole life that person's going to be there.
He signed on Friday and said for everybody the rest of the weekend. We weren't there on Friday.
There is one driver that used to be like that, and that was Robbie Gordon.
Oh yeah,
Robbie Gordon was horrible at that. So
yeah,
like you were there for a job, and I mean, yeah, you got people. I mean, yeah, granted, your office is exposed to everybody else, so it's a little bit different, So yeah, it's cool to hang out with friends and fans and stuff like that after the races and stuff, and signing some autographs if you get people that come up to you or whatever. But you have to appreciate the people that are basically paying your way.
Right,
man. Like I was so mad.
My bad.
Like she was giving me her pain pills.
Oh, Jesus.
I was hurting so for standing because they don't have seats in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna sit on the cement or you're standing up. I stood up for 6 hours at his garage.
Amen to you. That's all
and I got nothing. Nada. But I will show one thing that I got. I don't know if you can see it in the camera. Oh, look at that badass right there. Right there. Number one. That's what I'm talking about. That hat is on the wall.
Oh, you can't see it behind the microphone.
Right. Actually, I took it off the wall. Right there. Signed. Ryan Blaney. That's how you sign a freaking autograph.
Make 8 great again.
Right?
Kyle's
Thank
nice.
you.
He'll stop and chat.
Thank you. Yeah, man, he's always been cool. Ryan, you got autographs from Alex. As a matter of fact, the autograph hat is actually over here
Yeah,
too.
this is the
right
not
there on the
autograph
screen.
version.
She was smart. She bought 2 so she could actually wear one. I only bought one, so I can't even freaking wear it. I got one of his shirts though, so that was pretty
We'll
cool.
have that.
Yeah, but we'll do more up here. All right, I think you posted your list in your new group.
I did, and been trying to pull it up. And do you think I could find that on Facebook? I must.
Yeah, you should be able to.
Must have not been did a really good job at it, but
should be under your new list.
Yeah, it's my new list. So, groups. There we go. Let's see if we can pull it up. My groups. Where was it? Anyhow, who did you have for number 8?
Number 8, I almost left this guy out, and I feel bad about it. I've got Christopher Bell. The guy finished 4th last season, 2 wins, 10 top 5s, 19 top 10s, only 4 DNFs. He won 4 stages. Not the biggest stage winner out there, but I mean, I put him in the top 10 to start. I think he kind of got lucky on a couple of his wins last year. So I've got him at number 8 on my list.
He actually is one of the better drivers that I think is going to win this year. He's going to surprise a lot more people. I think he's got a little bit more to prove this year, and I think Old Smoke's going to help push him his way through.
Smoke, by the way, is Tony Stewart there. Lady M, that's his nickname. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I mean, this year he's driving for his pregnant wife, so that's maybe.
Yeah, out at for
Leah
funny
Pruitt.
Cars.
Yep, Leah Pruitt. So
alcohol funny car. Those things are loud.
She wants to definitely attempt to make him a dad, and 50. I think he's like 51 because he's a little bit. I think he's 1 year older than I am, so he's 51. So
I've got your list in front of me.
So
you had Stenhouse at 10, 9 Ryan Blaney, and Chastain at number 8.
Yeah, that's actually a little bit higher than I should have put Ross, but I think even with his aggressive driving style, he's still going to pull out at least 3 or 4 good wins. Trackhouse is really gaining a lot of momentum, and I think that's going to be the beneficial part of that. So Trackhouse is going to hold him together.
Yeah, I've got him at 9. You've got him at 8. All right, so my number 7, I almost left him off the list too. I mean, guy just won a championship 2 years ago, Joey freaking Logano.
I didn't even put him on the top 10, I don't think.
Dude, you put him at 12.
Yep.
So I've got him in every time I want to count him out, like if I don't put him on my fantasy team, he freaking wins a race.
You know who he's become? Mr. Consistency is like Mr. November, as they used to call it.
Yeah.
He's become very consistent. I mean, Matt was always the guy at the end of the race. You count him out early on, and you're like, he's going nowhere. And out of nowhere, towards the last 50 laps, all of a sudden he's running for the win. So Joey, I'm not a big fan. Yeah, he's a 2-time Cup champion, but I don't think he's really going to amount to a whole lot this year. I think he's losing the momentum that they have with Ford. That's kind of switching over to the Roush Fenway Kalowski team. They're kind of switching, kind of taking off. I think Penske's going to have maybe 1 driver, and that's probably going to be Blaney's going to be the highest finishing driver out of the 2 of them this year.
All right. We will see. That's exactly my thought process, though. But that was my thought process last year. Every time I saw him finishing up there, I was like, because he had 11 top 5s, 4th most out of all drivers. 11 top 5s, 17 top 10s, 5 DNFs. He did have the 1 win. So
one win and he was in.
Finished 12th. Yeah, that's all you need is 1, and you're in the playoffs. So Number 6, I've got Kyle Busch, my guy. Starting out, Kyle Busch. You have Denny time. You have Denny Hamlin, which is interesting to me because I left Denny out of the top 10 to start the season.
Yeah, you can't do that to Denny. I guess the reason why I have Denny where he's at is you think about his consistency. He's always been there at the start of the season, really taken off really, really strong, but I don't think it's going to be strong enough to win a Daytona 500 this year. I think he'll probably end up being. He doesn't draft really well. He gets caught up in the middle of the pack. Kind of gets caught up in everybody else's bullshit. So I think the fact that he's going to come out. He's got that big extension, but he's also still got a lot of work to do with 23 and 11. So.
Yeah, how difficult is that when you are a part owner, and not only just a part owner, but you're a part owner of a team that's not even part of your team that you drive for?
Yeah, what kind of meeting would you think that would be sitting in with Michael Waltrip and knowing that you just got knocked out of the playoffs and your employee is in?
Yeah.
Right. That's gotta be a weird thing, man. Yeah, I was going back and forth between Reddick and Hamlin for my number 10, and I ended up choosing Reddick. I will say this though: anytime I cover NASCAR as a member of the media, the number one car, because of the color schemes, the purple, the orange, the FedEx, I love shooting his car.
They definitely stand out brightly, that's for sure.
Yeah, I definitely love that car.
I really like the Ryan Blaney, the green, the yellow from Menards. John Menard has always had amazing looking cars. They've whether they've been white, yellow, green, the orange that they had back in the day, even when Robbie Gordon was driving for him, he made sure he had that bright color. You knew where he was at, so you never had to lose where he was, where he is on the track. And at night races, I think that's huge. It helps you not get your front end knocked off.
Yeah, that's true.
Absolutely
true. Yeah. Moving on to number 5. Number 5, I've got Blaney at number 5. You put him more towards the back. The only thing I'm basing this off of was last season. Like, as far as projecting goes, I think he's going to finish well. I think he'll be in the playoffs, obviously, but I see him as a middle of the pack guy, middle of the top 10 guy, I should say.
Sure. It's fair enough.
I'm probably giving him a little bit more credit than I even want to because of our past. But I've got him at number 5 right now, defending champion Ryan Blaney, number 5. You have Chase Briscoe, and I got to be honest with you, I like that pick. This is one of the main reasons why I said I like your list better than I like my own list. Right? I love what Briscoe is projecting to do this season. Yeah. I do. I absolutely love it. That number 14, man, like that 14 is going to be moving up in a lot of races this year.
If you look at what he's done for Tony Stewart and he's kind of like the veteran of the team right now going into 2024. But if you looked at his tenacity of how he drove at the Chili Bowl, he's got a chip on his shoulder, and he's out to prove that he belongs there, and that he's not just a washed up driver that doesn't need to be in a top tier team. And I think he's got a lot to work on, and he's got some amazing sponsors this year that are gonna also put the pressure on him. But I look at it where he's very consistent. He's always been a very methodical driver. He tries to keep himself clean most of the race, and then he's had some issues where he's bounced off the wall a couple times, but pushing an envelope. But those are the times that he needed to. You have to go when you have to go. But I think this year with the new dark horse Mustang. I think he's going to be the dark horse.
You know what? I love that analysis, especially when you talk about how he's a very clean driver. He'll drive through the pack, but I was looking at the DNFs. There's only 2 or 3 drivers in the entire field as far as regular drivers go that had less DNF. He only had 2 DNFs. If you look up and down, you got Corey LaJoie, who I love because he does a lot for the veterans. He had 0 DNFs. He's the only driver for regular drivers that finished every race. Then you got Kevin Harvick, who's no longer in it, and then you got Chris Buescher, who has 1 DNF. Mm-hmm. Those are the only 2 that have better as far as finishing the race than Chase Briscoe.
Yeah, that's where it's at right now is consistency, and that's what gets you season ending. I'd say regular season titles, and hopefully get you a couple wins and get you the points that you need to get moved up, stay in the top 15.
I love the commercials that him and Tony do together.
They're pretty funny.
They take jabs at each other the whole time. I love it.
I would love to have him as a boss. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, that would be amazing.
In fact, there is Chase Briscoe bought a couple. He bought a couple sprint cars, and he's working really, really hard to have Tony Stewart drive one of his cars or a midget at the Chili Bowl again. So we'll see. We'll see.
Where we at? Number 4 now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Number 4. I've got Junior. I've got Martin Truex Jr. You actually had him. We didn't mention him because we found your list after him. You have him at number 7.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Talk about consistency. Like every race, it seems like, well, you got this guy and this guy, and here comes Truex moving through the field.
Mm-hmm.
Like almost every single race. If you look at what he did last year, he had 17 top 10s.
Yep.
Which puts him probably top 5 in the list of top 10s.
Yeah.
Tied for 5th.
He had the most top 10s, but he also had the most. When he wasn't in the top 10, he was way down. So yeah, he had bad luck.
But when he was up there, He had 800. He's 4th out of everybody in laps led. 899 laps led last year. 6 stage wins, 3 wins overall. So
yeah. I mean, but I guess that was why I put him where he is, because you lead 800 laps and you only have 1 win. Just a couple wins to really show that. Yeah, winning heat races are great. But they don't pay the bills at the end of the day. It gets you into the, they get you points, but it doesn't get you in the playoffs.
Right. Oh, I agree. Absolutely agree 100%. I have no way around that. Next up, let's see here.
Wait, I don't think you said Joel's number 4.
Yeah, but that one really doesn't matter. No, he's got Chase Elliott.
Okay.
I like having Chase up there. I've got him a little further down the list. A little further to the top of the list, I should say. He was injured last year, so we really didn't see, what he's going to be. He missed 7 or 8 races last year because of injury. That's like 2 months.
Yeah, 7 races due to injury, 1 race due to suspension.
Right.
So
the most likable guy in NASCAR got suspended.
Yeah. Well, when you're Awesome Bill's kid, you ain't that awesome when you get suspended. So
I mean, how much stake do you put into that? Because before Chase, it was Junior that got the most popular driver award. How much do you put into that as a driver? Like, would you want that award?
Oh, absolutely. Because whether you're the most successful and most liked driver on the field, or they're either going to yell at you, or they're going to cheer for you, or they're going to boo you. So one of the 3 things are going to happen. But at the same time, guess what? They're buying T-shirts and to throw at you, and they're yelling your name. So you're going to be talked about. So when you get talked about, all of a sudden now your marketing partners are getting shined on there. Whether it's Hooters or Napa, which I don't really like, but
you see the O'Reilly cap. That's awesome. All right, so you've got him at number 4. My number 4 again was Truex. Number 3 is where I got Chase.
Mhm.
And again, it's for all the reasons that you said, but I mean, given 8 more races, I'd give him at least 2 more wins, especially street courses.
The street courses, I think, is where road racing is where it's at with him. I really have been more impressed with him at the Roval and at Coda. Those tracks, I really have been amazed with just how quick he can adapt to road racing, and Vegas, he didn't really have, he struggled a little bit, but that whole track was a struggle,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing what happens this year.
So Chase number 3, my number 3, your number 3 is William Byron. I had William further back.
Well,
Further forward.
I think you have to look at what he's got going on. I think with Hendricks, they're really going to put a lot of eggs in his basket, and really kind of, it's now or never for him. It really is. If you don't shine now, you're going to he'll probably be without a ride next year.
Oh, you think so?
I would see him getting ousted and Corey LaJoie taking his seat.
He will. Oh, wow. I would cheer for that. I'm more of a LaJoie fan than I am a William Byron fan.
You got to stack pennies to get to dollars.
Yeah. Wow, that's a name just thrown in there, man. And I like it. LaJoie in the 24.
Look
That would be cool.
Well, you have to remember, Randy, he drove for, Mr. Hendrick, back in the day at one time and, did quite well. Same with, Front Row Joe. I mean, those guys are guys that drove for, Mr. Hendrick and made a name for themselves, and their kids are just as talented, if not more talented.
Right.
I really, really like Corey. I think he's very, very personable. I got to meet him when we raced at the dirt track at Bristol. I ran a modified on the dirt track, and he was racing a modified as well. And he had a late model there, and he came up and he was standing on a tower with us, and he just kind of nonchalantly leaned over the corner, and I looked over to my side and I go, that's Corey LaJoie, guys. But he was just like real nonchalant. And that's when he had a mullet, really. I mean, but he was really cool. He was just like, hey, what are you guys running for a right rear spring? And this is what we're doing with our car. And, how's it hooking up? And I haven't had a lot of laps here. And, what I said, it was just cool. And he was just down to earth. And he's really, really, really like his dad. And I really like his seats, but, too. So
it's really easy to picture that, too, because every interaction we've had with him, he's always been really friendly and willing to talk to his fans. And
absolutely. His
he's a decent dude.
On that hat right there.
Your
along with about 30 others, but I know his is on there.
Your microphone's blocking the hat. You keep pointing back to the microphone.
There you go.
There you go.
Yep. Hey, you know who didn't sign this hat? I'll give you a guess.
Ryan Blaney.
2 days. He bypassed us both freaking times. Maybe he does know me. You know what? Screw you, Ryan Blaney.
Yeah. You have to make a shirt, come out and say, no Ryan Blaney.
Blaney, I love you.
No,
that didn't work. All right. Screw you, Ryan Blaney. All right. Next up at number 2, we've got a pair of Kyles. Hey, Kyle. We got a pair of Kyles. I've got Kyle Larson on my list. You have Kyle Busch. Yep. Which is, again, like I said, one of the main reasons why I like your list better than my list. I had Busch back at number 6. I guess you have my driver at number 2.
Kyle Larson is, for you to be number 2. I could see that, but I think this year Rowdy is really going to push. I think this is the year he's going to win a championship. So
3rd year at RCR.
Yep.
Now's the time to go. Now is the time to go. I like it. Larson's just going to be up there, man. He's favored at almost, or he's one of the top 5 favorites at almost every track.
Well, he is, but at the same time, if you do the analyzations between Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson, Larson, he can drive the wheels off of anything. He can make a bathtub look fast.
He's won the Chili Bowl. I think.
Well, Yeah. He's won it 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
So 2 years in a row, I think it was. And anywho, with Kyle Busch, I think this year, okay, he sold his truck team, he sold his Xfinity team, he sold his Rowdy Nation energy drink because it was so now he has all these outside things that were taking his time away from him to focus
God.
onto a championship. The only thing he's got left to focus on this year is Braxton's career. That's it. So you take all that, so he can really get down to the nitty gritty and start focusing. And I mean, you got MGM coming back, Bet MGM is going to be a sponsor again this year for him. He's got some other really big names that are,
Cheddar.
coming back. But also you're getting the Rowdy Busch that you saw when he was very feisty with Rick Hendrick. You're getting that young GM driver back. So,
yeah, I love that number 2 pick for you. At number 1, that's where you put the other Kyle Larson.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to throw you off, but you basically made my case for me. I've got William Byron in the 24. Look, he finished 3rd last year, and he may not be. This may be his last year in that car unless he pulls off the championship. So I've got William Byron winning it all this season. I know. That's the only way he stays in that car. Do you agree with that?
100%. I don't see the consistency out of him. I see Kyle Larson is far more consistent. I see that he's more, he's got more going for him this year. However, he's also going to be racing 150 some races this year between the dirt cars and everything else that he's got going on.
Yeah.
Now that he's a part. The only thing that I think that's going to throw off Kyle Larson from winning a championship is if God help him, he goes and races on his series that he owns with Casey Kane, and he flips a sprint car and something happens and he gets hurt. That's going to screw him royally. And I think that's what Rick Hendrick's biggest fear is. You're putting all your eggs in your number 1 driver and you're letting him do his thing, and now he's going to go to do Indy this year. That is why I have him at number 1, because he's going to do something that some rare drivers got to do. Robbie Gordon, Smoke, John Andretti. I mean, some of the best of the drivers that, were able to do it. Kyle Busch got to have a kind of a shot, and Kurt, I think Kurt did an amazing job at Indy, and with Kyle going there, it's going to bring the dirt fans back to Indy. It's going to bring them hometown heroes, because he is kind of a, one of them guys, even though he's a West Coast guy, but he's still got a lot of talent. So
I agree. I have the benefit of seeing your entire top 20, and I'm gonna share this on the S3 as well on Friday. Sure. One guy, and Ms. Marnie, you're going to have to wait until I release my full thing on Friday to see mine. But there is one guy he does not have in his top 20. The hat on your head, Alex Willman.
I calling him out over here now.
Didn't even make it to his top 20. Nope. Now that I know that, I'm going to make damn sure that I got him in mind. Not that he's not already on there. He could be. Who knows? But yeah, Bowman finished 20th last year. He had 0 wins. It's going to take a lot for him to crack the top 20 this year, especially with a healthy Chase. And you got Busher coming up. And
yeah,
I mean,
he can be pretty good about getting up there in the numbers. He's just not good at staying up there.
Right. Arizona's own.
He needs to get a little braver.
I know that, he had other drivers in his cars at the Chili Bowl strictly because he says, I'm not going to race anything else because last year he got upside down and took a nasty spill and
got hurt.
Yeah.
You can see the fear in there sometimes when cars get too close to him. He just backs right off and lets them have their way. And so now they're all doing it as a tactic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they kind of made him an ally.
Oh, it's pretty good fun. I like that one.
But
Joel Willman, again, let's run down it real quick. So just in case, I'm just going to shout out Joel's top 10: Stenhouse, Blaney, Chastain, Truex, Hamlin, Briscoe, Elliott, Byron, Bush, and Larson. I have Reddick. I can't believe, like, did you even Reddick is 17th?
Yep.
Blasphemy. Well, the guy finished like 6th last season. All right, Tyler Reddick, Ross Chastain, Christopher Bell, Joey Logano. I can understand your questions on him. Kyle Busch, Ryan Blaney, Martin Truex Jr., Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, and again, the man that needs to fight to keep his job, William Byron. Those are the power rankings. That's it, man. Joel, man, I appreciate you staying on. I know it was just supposed to be one segment, but I definitely appreciate you coming on. It's okay, though. We knocked all the other segments out of the way. Who's your champion for this season? You sticking with Larson for the entire season?
You know what? No, I'm actually gonna put all my faith in Kyle Busch.
God, you just get more and more likable every day.
Well, I mean, yes. Do I want to see Kyle? I would love to see Larson to win another one. I think it's good for the sport, but at the same time, he is what Jimmy Johnson was 5-10 years ago. But Kyle Busch is becoming more likable. He's driving for one of the best teams out there. He's got the number 8 in there. So, I mean, he's making 8 great again. That's for sure. So, you know, it's going to be a fun year. I think a lot of people are going to see a different side of Kyle now that he doesn't have so much business on the outside of him as a driver. So
I like it. I've got him up there. I'm sticking with Byron. I'm going with the underdog. He's probably at like plus 5,000 on DraftKings to win it all. I'll put a couple bucks down on him.
I keep on forgetting you're in one of them states where they smoke a lot of marijuana. So you're, it's probably.
I have never smoked. I may have eaten, but I have never smoked.
Well, I think you're pretty high on that Byron thing. That's just not. That's
you know what? Every win he gets, I'm gonna just bug the hell out of you. I'm gonna blow up your phone every single time.
So, well, that's
every
good.
Time.
That's good because. For every Ryan Blaney autograph I get, I'm going to show it to you.
You burn it. Show me burning it. That's how you can do it.
I wouldn't do that to you.
No, I wouldn't do it either. If he actually signed it, I'd probably put it in a friggin' plaque and put it on the wall.
No, I think we both have a really good a good list, and I think it's going to be a fun year, and it's going to be fun for fantasy league too. You know, a lot of these picks are kind of setting the tone for the fantasy league and what's coming. This weekend, it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top. And so help me God, if William Byron comes out and pulls out a win off the Busch Clash, I'm going to be
already starting. I will blow you up on every social platform I can find you on. Speaking of which, where can the fans find you and follow you and your journey this season?
Honestly, I'm pretty much all of a sudden become on every social media platform possible. Everything from Snapchat to Instagram. We're on Twitter, X. I've got the 3 Facebook pages, and now we just started this new brand. We're trying to build up the Willman Racing brand on Facebook and trying to get that into something. Once we land some really good marketing partners to where I know for sure that we got some good racing coming, races that we are, that stuff will end up becoming on YouTube. We're going to be kind of opening up my life of what it takes to kind of get into, moving forward and on a weekly basis of just trying to get to the racetrack and whether we run last or we run first, it's going to just try the ups and downs of what it takes.
What you need is a really good marketing coach. If you could find one, like they could really help you narrow it down and really start blowing up that social media.
I really happen to know a guy that's giving me some courses that I'm following and I'm doing what I can. So,
all right, man. Well, if you need anything, as always, you can hit us up. You can hit me up. Thank you so much for joining us, man. Good luck to you this season. We'll be following you. This will not be the last time. As a matter of fact, we'll probably have you on again before Daytona.
Yeah. So. Hey, if you see Andre too, I haven't, that was a name I haven't seen for a long time. I used to talk back in the day, all of us. So A lot of
Oh
fun.
yeah, absolutely, Mr. Thurman.
Yep, Mr. Thurman. We'll see you guys later. Thank you,
All right,
guys.
brother.
Have a Good night.
Thanks,
Take
everybody.
care, man.
Bye-bye.
That was Joel Willman. Go ahead on Facebook. It is a brand new page. Like, it's literally a brand new group, Willman Racing Group. I think I'm the only person on there. He just created it. Like, I don't even think he's made like one post. So, like, go ahead, jump in, request access to the Willman Racing Group so that you can follow Joel
Get on with the
this
ground floor.
season and check him out and what he's got going on. He's just a great guy overall. I love talking to him. I am, by the way, his marketing coach. Just started that partnership, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to blow up his brand this season. My goal is to get him at least 10,000 followers or 10,000 people in that one group before the end of the season. So I think we have a lot of fun with it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are way over our time. Like,
Goodness, yes.
way over our time. Like, it's dinner time now. Lady M, what's for dinner tonight? What are we doing?
Mini sliders again.
Oh,
burger
gotta love
this
the
time.
sliders.
Hamburgers.
Love the sliders. We did a barbecue slider, chicken barbecue slider the other day. That was freaking amazing. Could have used like 10 more of them, though. Just throwing that out there for
the
next
only
time.
problem with them.
No, the only problem is I actually need to work out if I'm going to eat that many. So the 2 to 3 is great. Anything over that, you're going to make me start working out, and then we might have some problems. All right. That's it. We are well over, but we'll have this episode up so you can listen to it and fast forward through it and get to the points that you love or you missed before the end of the evening. So make sure you follow CoachJeffDemers.com, the sports page, the S3 page on CoachJeffDemers.com, and you can see all or listen to all of the past episodes of the S3 from this year. We started over, brand new media group. Sports Media X, we're on our own, but we're building from scratch. We love what we're doing. We're having some fun. If you want to be a guest on the show, hit us up. That's it for me, Lady M. Anything?
Nope.
All right. Don't forget to use those horrible dad jokes from the beginnings. I want to know every time you get slapped for using those. It's going to be so much fun. We'll see you guys later.